Today's video, we're going to take a look at players who actually never were given a chance, right? Players that went to a big club, and I'm talking big clubs. There's a whole video surrounded by big clubs, and they weren't given a chance. They just wasn't. But the good thing is, now, most of the players in this video you're going to see have actually gone on to be pretty good and successful at the club they are now and doing pretty well, so it hasn't really backfired, okay? Now, I could do a video of, like, players who didn't get enough minutes at a big club and then just drifted off and failed. If you want me guys to do that video, I can. This video is, like, a really positive one, okay? Taking a look at the players that actually did succeed afterwards, but then I can make a video where it's a bit negative, alright, the players that didn't succeed. If you want to see that video, drop a like and a thumbs up down below. If we can get 3,000 likes before, well, within 5 hours, okay, 5 hours, that's right, then I'll bring you guys that video next couple of days. And of course, if you want one of these, there'll be a link in the top or right hand corner. There's a little card there, just click it, get gripped. The first player is a very well-known player, of course, one of the biggest players, actually one of the most expensive players, okay, one of the most expensive players that the Premier League have signed. We've got Kevin De Bruyne, alright, now this guy obviously was at Chelsea and he made 3 appearances for them. So it was obvious for Kevin, he just had to move on, alright, literally 3 appearances for them. He went on loan to Werder Bremen, then he was signed to Wolfsburg, and then obviously Man City have now signed him, okay, that was a massive transfer fee. So Chelsea signed him from Genk, didn't give him any minutes really, any game time, 3 games he played for him, right, 3 games in the course of 2 years, that is rubbish. So Man City signed him on a 6-year contract with a reported fee of about, well, a club record fee of course, £55 million, alright, that's not bad for a player who just didn't get any game time at Chelsea. Now believe it or not, on the 31st of January 2012, okay, this is right, this is transfer deadline day, January, Chelsea announced obviously signing him from Genk on a permanent deal, okay, so they signed him on a transfer deadline day in January. Fee was rumoured to be about £7 million, and he signed a 5.5-year contract, which is absolutely huge, but he actually stayed at Genk for the remainder of the season apparently. So he obviously went back to Chelsea or whatever, went to Chelsea after Genk, then he went out on loan, and he went back to Chelsea I think, but didn't really materialise, and then he actually got signed by Wolfsburg on a permanent, alright, for a reported fee of around £18 million. Now £18 million is not bad, okay, so Chelsea still made money on him, even though he was a massively highly rated player. They only signed him for £7 million, so he still made like £11 million on him, which isn't bad. But then Wolfsburg are the real winners, alright, because then they sold him for £55 million, alright. That is absolutely huge. They sold him to obviously Manchester City. So yeah, you got like a club record transfer fee, one of the most expensive players in the Premier League, was signed by another Premier League club for 7 mil, didn't work out. They sold him to Germany, now he's back in the Prem smashing it. That's a crazy story. Probably the most famous story in football. We got Paul Pogba next, okay? Now, I'm not going to talk about this one too long because obviously a lot of you know the situation behind this. I don't want to bore you guys. I want you guys to check out the rest of the players in this episode, which you won't know about, you know. We keep it interesting. So everyone knows, okay, obviously he was there, Man United youth career. He made 3 appearances for the main team, the first team, which is the same as De Bruyne, which is not very good. 3 years in the course, well, 1 year and 3 appearances basically in the first team. Bit better like ratio to De Bruyne because De Bruyne was like 2 years worth or something like that. But yeah, then obviously Man United got rid of him. He went to Juventus, okay, and obviously smashed it there, made his name in football. That's where he made his real name in football, and that price tag, you know, hovering over his head was made there. Now obviously Man United let him go on for like nothing, of course, I believe. Didn't get any money for him. They started like the sold, but didn't actually sell him. They basically just, he ran out of contract. And now obviously Juventus are the real winners because now they have literally the most expensive player in the world of football in the bank, mate. That money is in the bank. £90 million they got for someone they got for basically for free, okay, and he went back to the club that it didn't work out at in the first place. That's crazy. 3 appearances, didn't work out, didn't sign a new deal, goes to another club for a few years, signing back for 90 million. That is one of the most craziest stories I think football's ever going to see. For the third player, we got another player who actually went back to the same club, right, that it didn't work out in the first situation. A very strange situation that I don't know a lot of you will know about, okay, because it's not as publicised as obviously the Pogba situation. But we have Nemanja Matic, right, now this guy, believe it or not, was at Chelsea back in 2009 to 2011. That's right, lads, before he is now, he did a spell at Chelsea before. He was there for 2 years and made 2 appearances, so that's an average of 1 appearance a year, which is not very good. That's not any minutes, that's not any game time, to be honest. You know, he's not going to be able to prove himself there, is he, in that amount of game time. Chelsea signed him for £1.5 million in 2009. That's the first time they signed him. Now, he was on loan and stuff throughout the couple of years he was at Chelsea, so it wasn't like he was there all the time. That's why he's only got 2 appearances, but yeah. But then Matic actually returned to Chelsea 3 years later for £21 million. £21 million. So, you know, in terms of signing 1.5, then they got rid of him. They signed him 3 years later for 21 million. That's crazy again. That's a bit like the Pogba situation, just not on the same scale. On the January 31st, okay, this is transfer deadline day, Matic was transferred to Portuguese club Benfica along with 25 million euros in a swap deal for Brazilian centre-back David Luiz. That's how we first got introduced to David Luiz. And then obviously he did his bits in Benfica, and then Chelsea signed him back again 3 years later for £20-odd million. Crazy stuff. And then actually, that's a bit ironic because David Luiz, who they got in the swap deal, whatever, he then left to go PSG, and then he's back. So Matic is back as well. So it's a bit of a crazy one. The players just go back to the old clubs again, and just it's happening loads at the minute. Next up, we've got easily one of the most well-known defenders and well-known footballers in the world. We've got Gerard Piqué. Now, this guy, of course, was at Manchester United, alright? He was there for 4 years, made 12 appearances, alright? That's not that good. That's not much of a chance to prove himself, is it? Yes, he did do some sort of loan spell in the middle of that. Zaragoza apparently signed him to play 22 games for them, which is pretty decent. But in the space of 4 years, 12 appearances, you know, that's not that great. That's like 3 appearances a year. That's not that great. Then Barcelona paid £5 million for him. £5 million for Gerard Piqué, who's won World Cups. He's won everything there is to win with Spain. Obviously, Barcelona even. When you win a World Cup, it basically counts as everything, because that's just class. He's actually at Barcelona youth career. Then obviously he went to Man United, and then Man United to Barcelona. So that's another player who started off somewhere, he's gone somewhere else, and then he's back at the same club, alright? But in this situation, it was Man United that didn't really give him a chance. Cool, I'm getting a bit like I've run out of breath from the amount of players that are just moving back and forth to the same clubs, back and forth here and there. But, you know, it's pretty crazy some of the stuff you do here in football and some of the stuff that has happened. And a video like this can just recap people's thinking. He actually made 9 appearances, I believe, in the 2007-2008 season. So he made most of his appearances in one season. So he was given a bit of a chance then, but I don't know, maybe it just didn't quite work out for him, maybe. Now, next up, we've got Juan Cuadrado. Now, this guy, of course, is a very, very good player, right? Very good player. Smashing it right now in Italy, smashing it completely with Juventus, but he went to Chelsea not too long ago and it just didn't really work out for him. He wasn't given that much of a chance. Now it says here he made 13 appearances for Chelsea in the course of like a season or whatever, which actually isn't that bad, but every time I seem to remember watching Chelsea, he was always on the bench, mate. Always on the bench. So Cuadrado, they signed him for a 4.5-year deal and like £24 million as well was the fee they paid for him. So then, of course, Chelsea got rid of him on loan. Okay, he went to Juventus, signed a season-long loan there. Then after that, he went back to Chelsea, right? He did a few pre-season stuff with Chelsea, but then he actually went back out on loan on a 3-year loan deal with Juventus. So he's seen out the whole of his Chelsea contract at Juventus on loan. That's pretty weird. Juventus are paying like €5 million a year to have him on loan, so they are like paying out his contract for Chelsea and him, of course. I do think this is pretty crazy because obviously this guy's a really, really talented player and it just didn't seem to work out for him in the Premier League and Chelsea. But like I say, every time I seem to remember watching Chelsea at the time, he was always on the bench. He was literally always on the bench. Now he's proven that Juventus that he can be a good player and he can, you know, achieve good things. So hopefully he does really well there, and obviously when that loan deal expires, I think, and then obviously he's probably going to sign a permanent with Juventus. Last but not least, we've got a player who's absolutely smashing it right now in the Premier League, right? Absolutely smashing it, one of the best players in the Premier League right now, Romelu Lukaku, okay? Easily one of the best strikers in the Prem right now. Now, believe it or not, Chelsea signed him in 2010, which I think you're all well aware. You're well aware, aren't you? You are well aware. Now, it's 3 years there, 2011 and 2014, 10 appearances. That's not that great. That's not much of a chance, is it? Now, most of that time he spent out on loan, okay? West Brom and Everton and stuff. Now, obviously, on a permanent Everton. And whichever club he's gone to on loan, whether it be West Brom or Everton, he's done well at, okay? 35 appearances, 17 goals. 31 appearances, 15 goals. He's banged goals wherever he's gone. Now, since being at Everton on a permanent, okay, 98, obviously, appearances for them and 45 goals since a permanent. So that's pretty impressive stats too. Now, Chelsea are believed to have signed him for a fee of around £10 million, but it could rise to 17 million with add-ons and stuff. It was a 5-year deal, huge when they signed him. Now, in his first season at Chelsea, he actually said he was pretty disappointed in the amount of game time he was getting. He was very, very unhappy with the situation. I think that's why he went out on loan to West Brom or whatever after that. And then basically, he signed for Everton. He went on loan to Everton, and then actually they signed him on a permanent for a club record fee of £28 million, which is huge. So Chelsea actually made a little bit of money, nothing much, but they made quite a bit. Well, it wasn't bad, not a bad bit of profit anyway. But the situation is now that Chelsea are rumoured to be signing him back from Everton. Okay, so another rumour. This is just a rumour, transfer rumour for £70 million. Now this is crazy. This is like nearly every player in this episode could be going back to the club they started at, or they have gone back to the club they started at. And Lukaku might be one of the Pogba situations in this. Obviously not as bad as a Pogba situation, but it's not dissimilar, is it? Anyway, guys, hopefully I've enjoyed this very interesting video. Footballers who were just not given the chance, right? And they've gone on to succeed, and they've gone on to do pretty well in football. I can bring you guys the negative version of that one, the players that did go on and didn't succeed, right? If you want to see that, drop a like and a thumbs up down below. Subscribe for more FIFA and football videos just below the video, just down there, little Rossi, just click subscribe. It's free of charge, costs you nothing, and make sure you click the bell button too. Also, I would like to remind you that I am doing a giveaway on my Instagram as well. Literally, it's there, RossiHD. You can search it, or you can go to, like, I don't know, the description if you like. You can click on the link, follow me, like my most recent pictures and stuff, and that will enter you into the giveaway. I'm not 100% sure what I'm exactly giving away, whether it be some football boots, some footballs, or something like, I don't know, it could be the Nintendo Switch. I know a lot of people are asking for that in a minute, so that could be potentially one of the gifts or prizes or whatever that I'm going to be giving away. You don't need to comment on any of your posts if you don't want to. All you have to do is drop a like like and make sure you like follow me, of course. That way I can see your name and I can see that you've liked my most recent stuff. You also don't really need to put notifications on, but if you want to do that, it's completely up to you. Obviously, it'll keep you up to date with my posts, pictures and stuff like that. I've got lots of stuff going on at the minute, so it is going to be very active over there, and I'm going to use it a lot, so you know, you want to stay tuned. I'm out. Has been a pleasure as always, guys. Take it easy. Have a good day. Peace.